Many of the younger people concerned about our inaction on climate breakdown have found a voice, and they're angry. They're angry at my generation because we've taken everything we wanted from the earth with little thought for the consequences. In our defence, we didn't necessarily know at the start what the outcomes of our actions would be, but even when we did realise the consequences, we didn't stop. Although there are signs we're slowing down, we're still not stopping. In the 1950s and 60s, the resources of the earth seemed boundless, and the idea that we, mere humans, could have a profound effect on the earth's life support systems seemed somehow outrageous and absurd. The problems can be traced back to the middle of the 18th century, when we started to industrialise. This industrialisation was made possible by easy access to fossil fuels and the ingenuity of a number of people who learned how to harness these fuels for our use. The problem is that we've built our societies on them, and changing this is proving to be very difficult. But our use of these fuels is killing us. This is happening because burning fossil fuels, and this is what we're doing in our power stations, in our cars and our domestic boilers, results in poisonous chemicals being released into the air we breathe. This has direct health consequences, such as respiratory problems, and we're currently seeing the effects, particularly on children and older people. But burning fossil fuels also emits carbon dioxide. We can't see this gas, but it's a major factor in enhancing the greenhouse effect, which is leading to climate breakdown. This period of industrialisation, which began about 300 years ago, has also been linked to international trade and globalisation. Obviously, the world is still the same physical size it's always been, but because we can now travel around it at speeds we could only have dreamed about in the past, and because we can communicate instantly with our friends, relatives and business colleagues on the other side of the world, it appears to have shrunk. Globalisation also means that if, here in the UK, we don't have access to a particular resource, or it's becoming scarce, we can find it somewhere else in the world and import it. Or, if we no longer want to produce electronic equipment or clothing, we can make sure someone manufactures them in Pakistan or Turkey or in China and supplies them to our stores. All of this exploitation of natural resources, the industrial processes and all of the trade we engage in, comes at a cost to our surroundings. But we're not asked to pay the full cost of products when we buy them, because the manufacturer doesn't pay the full cost themselves. The emissions, the pollution that arises at all stages of the process, doesn't cost the manufacturer anything. But we are paying for them indirectly. We're paying for them with deteriorating health, but we're also paying through our taxes, because governments have to take some responsibility for cleaning up some of our pollution. In the UK and other more economically developed countries, my generation has been able to take full advantage of industrialisation and globalisation, which led to easy access to many different types of consumer goods. We can buy these goods from wherever they're produced. We've also taken full advantage of the ability to travel long distances, to visit new places or work in other countries. And we've been well rewarded for the work we've done over our working lives with access to cheap capital. This means we've been able to buy our own homes and still put money away for our lengthy and relaxing retirement. But I'm afraid the current generation of teenagers and 20-somethings are being denied many of these things. This is because we were unaware of some of the problems we were accumulating. More damagingly, as we became aware of them, we chose to file them in the too hard pile and ignore them. This is being recognised by our teenagers and 20-somethings, and they've begun to ask some uncomfortable questions. And perhaps because we've taught them well, they're not taking our platitudes as answers. They want us to do something, and they want us to do it now, not in 5 or 10 years' time, because in 5 or 10 years' time it'll be too late.